have three main fighting game mentors that I go to when I hit a wall. One is my friend Austin. He's a very solid player. He doesn't really compete anymore, but he's a very solid player and he knows how to find your problems. The other one is Broly Legs, who you've seen here on the channel before. I know I paid for coaching, but I actually met him through a friend. And he actually didn't ask for any money. I just paid him because I felt like it was a good gesture. If someone gives up their time for you, I think you should compensate them in some way. But now that we know each other pretty well, I can come to him with most problems that I have in game. But my third coach or mentor, whatever you want to call it, is Juices. You've seen him on the channel a bunch since I started, and he's helped me out a lot. And so the other night, I was playing on the gold account. I was playing a bunch of different characters and losing. I was getting super frustrated. I couldn't figure out what my issue was. And so I did what I usually do. I asked my friend Juices to play a couple sets with me. And that's what you're watching here. He's on some other account. He's on his Luke account, so the name is different, but this is him. And in my experience, the mark of a very strong player is the further the set goes on, the worse you start losing, because they're figuring out something about you that you can't fix, or you're choosing not to fix right now. And so I might take a round here or there, but as these matches keep going, we played 20 to 30. We played for like an hour and a half, I think. I'm not even getting close anymore by the end. And it's important to note, I was switching characters for most of this. I started on Karen, I played Colleen, I played Rose, I played Manat, and then I think I ended it out with Karen for most of it. And no matter what character I picked, the result was always the same. Whether I played my main character or a character I just picked up, I was losing by the same margin, which told me that something is universally wrong. Like, there's something fundamentally wrong with how I'm playing and how I'm approaching every matchup that is allowing him to take advantage of it and beat me, like, soundly. And so after we played these sets, we played, like I said, for an hour and a half or so. He pretty much stuck to Luke and then played Ryu, I think, towards the end. Because a good thing about playing with Juices is he understands what you need to work on, so he'll pick a character that can do what you need to work on. Like, if it's shutting down wild play, he'll start jumping a lot, or he'll start dashing a lot. He'll really exploit your weakness until you can figure it out yourself. And that's a very important quality to have in somebody who is willing to teach you these games, right? There's a lot of very strong players who just aren't good at teaching. I play with a lot of very strong players who are probably watching this video, and it's nothing against them. It's just some people are better at teaching than others, and some people are better at picking up on other people's habits and fixing them than others. But anyways, after we played the Luke sets and the resets, we talked about it, and he told me I was playing on autopilot a little bit too much. And that sounds kind of vague, so to elaborate, what he said was, a big thing that he noticed is that when I walk into stand medium kick range, for example, on Karen, I'm immediately pressing the stand medium kick every single time I get in range. Like, as soon as I get into range, I'm pressing stand medium kick. But this is not exclusive to Karen. That's why when I play Colleen, as soon as I get into crouch medium kick range, I'm pressing crouch medium kick, or I'm pressing back heavy kick. And same with Rose. If I get into stand heavy punch range, I'm immediately pressing that button. There's no delay, there's no switching up the timing. I'm just doing it. And since he knows every single time I get into range, I'm gonna press that same button, he can just walk in and out real quick and whiff punish me. There's no variance, there's no mix-up, there's no nothing on my part in neutral to make him fear anything. He knows exactly what I'm going to do every single time. And that's when I sort of learned that just because you can press a button here, it doesn't mean you always should. Because the whole reason for pokes, like the whole basis behind them in neutral is once you press the poke and they block it or they get hit, you see what they do afterwards. Do they press a button? Do they walk back? Do they jump? Do they walk forward? But if they know you're just going to keep pressing it at this same exact spacing every single time, they can just jump, or they can just block it and walk forward and take their space. It kind of defeats the whole purpose of the poke if you just keep doing it at the same exact spacing and not really mixing anything up. And I realize this is something that transcends Street Fighter completely. Like in Guilty Gear, for example, I play Ramlethal. She's known for like pressing slash and far slash and neutral and then converting off of it. But every time somebody walks into my slash range, I press it, and I always get IAD'd on, like they just jump over it, or they double jump, or they avoid it somehow, and then I get punished. Even though I feel like I was aware of the buttons that I'm pressing and I'm not autopiloting, in that aspect I was, and you have to be aware of that. And so like I said earlier, just because you can doesn't mean you always should. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if it helped you, consider subscribing. Thanks so much.